Hey guys, what it is your girl Caylee. Yes, I'm Caylee Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life Prison Wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice. Hoping, girl, to see justice before all phase two black. Yes, it's your girl Caylee. Anyways, I had a whole nother video today. I was at work and I took notes, guys. But the video I was working on was the differences in striving, the differences between a striving life, a life, a living life where you're actually living life, and a thriving life that's living life abundantly, right? But I didn't finish my list, guys. Didn't finish, girl. So I decided, since all I keep hearing is this story about Carlee Russell, right? I will go ahead and give my thoughts. It's not going to be long because I ain't got a lot of thoughts on the case. So I'm just going to run through them. And if I have anything to add on to it, then I'll add that. But these were the things. I consider myself a critical thinker. I am not the one that hears a story and is like, when the story is written and narrated in a certain way to invoke a certain emotion and make you believe a certain way. I'm not that person. I ask too many questions. And if you ain't got no answers for me, then I can't believe you until you give me more answers or all the answers or whatever. So I'm a critical thinker. I think deep. I think about, if things just don't make sense to me, I just can't. In case in point, my husband's case, I talk to y'all all the time about how a story can be put out to be true, and it's like it just doesn't make sense. Like the more you take out of a case, the more you just have holes in the case, and it can't be true because the truth wouldn't have so many holes like that. Like it just doesn't make sense. So y'all know I'm a deep thinker. So these are the things that I came up as I'm just listening to several different content creators talk about this. Yesterday I watched my Christinaarandall. I ain't been by her channel in a minute. Love christinaarandall. Yes, if I could find my Project Reach the World, christinaarandall. I still don't think she ever seen it. I did send it to her at one point, but it got returned back to me. I tagged her on all the social media, so I don't know. I don't think she ever seen that one. But I'll put it in the description box below. Love christinaarandall, but I watched her take on the story. Willie D. Lie. Yes, I did a Project Reach the World for him too. I will put that in the description box. But I also watched him. I love his take on issues and stories and stuff like that. And now I'm watching Comedy Hype News. It's basically comedians coming together and talking about news in a news setting. So as I'm just listening to the reviews of the case and stuff like that, it's probably several other YouTubers. These are things that just came up. Okay, so my biggest concern is gonna be, it's gonna increase the hesitation to believe women when in fact they are taken. Or like if you're reporting your loved one being taken. Because best believe this is gonna be etched in people's memory. So one bad apple spoils everything. It really does. It's case in point why I can't get justice for my husband. Because there are some bad apples out there. And because there are some bad apples, everybody is painted with the same brush. And it's saying that you kind of get group judged together. So now that she has done this, other women that come forward about their loved one are gonna most likely incur more red tape, if not already a whole bunch of red tape, when this issue or something similar happens when you're reporting your loved one or when you're reporting something that happened yourself. It's going to be harder for you to, it's just going to be harder. It really is. And that's the biggest concern, that something like this, I don't know, it's just going to make it, for every person that, I don't know how to explain it, but for every person that actually does need, like, okay, oh, girl, I know how to explain it. Like me talking about my husband innocent. Everybody in prison claims to be innocent. Every single, ask them, are you innocent? Yeah, I'm innocent, girl. Are you innocent? Yep, I'm innocent. You innocent? Yeah, I'm innocent too. Me too, girl. I'm innocent. Everybody's innocent. To the point when someone really is innocent, nobody believes them. It's like the cry wolf thing. This is going to unfortunately affect people that truly do need help and do need those resources and do need that manpower. That's going to make it harder for them to get what they actually really need, right? Okay, so that's the biggest concern with all of this. Okay, my second point is this could cause the next young woman, oh, I think I already got into it, to not get those type of resources. So that goes a little deeper, where they were saying people were looking for her. They were all over social media breaking the story. They said even Beyonce mama was putting the story out there, and you usually don't get that much traction on an issue. To be honest, you really don't. You don't get that type of traction on an issue. So to get that type of traction, people had to have really, or she had to have really reached that one right person that got that ball moving. So, and just like Willie D said, I love Willie D, he said she probably did not think the story would go that far, because it's hard to break a story. It is so extremely hard. Y'all know, case in point, while I'm trying, after 21 years to break the story, I lost the light. Trying to find the light. But I've been trying 21 years to break the story of my husband's wrongful conviction. And baby, at this point, it's time to sit down, sit down somewhere. So it's hard to break a story. So most likely, she didn't even think that when she made up this story, that it would cause as much. They're already thinking nobody's going to investigate this. People, this is happening all the time, and we never find or recover these people, and people just forget about it and go on. So why would they go and research and find that? And plus, possibly, I don't know for sure, she felt like because she was African American female, and that is the least likely for people to search for, to put up a fuss for, just like African American men being wrongfully incarcerated. That is the least that anybody's going to kick up any dust for. Now, if any other nationality, I believe, was wrongfully incarcerated, people would really be taken aback and listening to their stories. I think it would be far easier for them to break their stories. And it's a lot of the conditioning that we have basically been exposed to in, basically this country and in media period, that it paints us as kind of the lowest on the totem pole, the lowest of the low, right? So people don't kick up a lot of fuss for the lowest of the low. So I don't know. Just like they don't care about the black man being wrongfully incarcerated, I doubt they're gonna care as much. Now, I'm not saying they're completely heartless, but it's just not gonna take precedence over certain others missing. So, and we do have those facts out there about black women missing. Okay. Conspiracies. So for me, girl, a lot of stuff just don't make sense. But conspiracies could be, what could be the reason, I'm sorry, I'm reading this incorrectly. conspiracies. What could be the overall reason this story is all people are talking about? What are we missing focusing on this? I'm just going to leave it at that comment. I ain't going to go too deep on that. But let me read it again clearly without all those mess ups. Conspiracies. What could be our all... Why can't I read this right, girl? Conspiracies. What could be the overall reason this story is all people are talking about? What are we missing focusing on this? So I believe something somewhere else is a brew. And our attention is being pulled this way when something over here is happening or happened or about to happen, you know. So I'm going to just leave that at that. Okay. The fact that she raised all that money through GoFundMe. Now, that's going to cause more skepticism in legitimate campaigns. So, girl, GoFundMe is hard. It's hard to get traction on your GoFundMe, to be honest. I've had one for several years, for like three years, and I raised all of $100. And then GoFundMe takes a portion of that. So it is really difficult to raise money through GoFundMe. So now all this is going to do, all the people that donated to that GoFundMe, they are going to be more skeptical next time. And it could be that's what always hurts. Like, you basically can't get what you need because somebody effed it up. One person effed it up for all of us. So now when the next person is in need and does need to raise a GoFundMe, it's going to raise more red flags. But on the other side of the token, that could be good, because that also could make people be more wary of what they're contributing their money to. Don't just contribute. Research. Like when I do ask people to donate to I stopped asking about my GoFundMe, but I do ask people to sign my petition for my husband. But I don't just say, hey, please sign my petition. I encourage people to read my petition and actually look at the videos and make judgments basically for themselves. I don't just ask for you to just come out and sign it. Like, I need for you to read it, to understand it. And if you feel, and I always say that, if you feel compelled, then sign the petition. So it's like, it would be good for people to do more research before just here's my bank account, here's my number, you know what I mean? So it's both sides. I guess everything helps and it hinders at the same time, girl. Okay. If I had a loved one taken and those type of resources and manpower were not put up, I would feel some type of way. So now this case has set a precedence. That means you can do all that for her. There are several other people that you should be able to do all that for. So that means we have resources and we can find them when we need them. There's a lot of things that could be solved if you had the resources. So sorry, I'm always likening back to my husband's case, but let's face it, that's the purpose in my channel, girl. I'm sorry. And that is my purpose, right? That is my, basically my, what do you call it? But that's what I'm doing, my crusade, basically. Trying to free my husband. So these resources, so because all the stops were pulled out for her, it's going to make the next person in that situation, or just previously, I'm sure if this is happening every day, just last week, before we even knew this story, there was somebody with the same concern, but all those stops were not pulled out for them. So it just becomes, what made this story just so big? And so we have to go, we have to follow it. We have to do whatever it takes. It's going to make the next person feel like, well, my loved one is just as important. Why aren't they doing that for my loved one? And I feel like that in my husband's case. I do. I feel like, why is nobody fighting for him? Nobody putting up no fuss for him. But I've seen other cases like, girl, example. And it ain't even the exact type of example, but it's a situation of that feeling. What was that girl's name? Casey Anthony. They were trying tooth and nail. They were leading on that they don't believe her. She had been caught in so many things. There were things that could be used as evidence. And no matter what, they kept saying, we have to give her a fair trial. Unfortunately, that happened, but we got to give her a fair trial by our, Constitution and this and that. We have to give her a fair trial. But baby, from the beginning of Marcello Jackson's trial, y'all violated from the beginning, up and down, back and forth, left and right. But for her, you want to give her a fair trial. It's going to cause the same issue. Y'all looking all up and down this highway, y'all on social media, y'all pulling out all these resources, but what about my loved one? That's what that's going to cause. And I don't know, maybe it'll amp up people, when this does happen, but I don't know, because of the revelation that it was, I guess they say allegedly a hoax. That's it might do just the opposite. Okay. Now, I had a question. It was just question marks in my mind when I heard this. Okay. The officers jump right up. Is that usual? Is that usual when somebody is, because they saying the officers in this case was just right on it. Just from the beginning, was just right on it. And even Caylee herself most likely did not expect that. So, is that usual that they just jump? I know that's what we want, but that would really take you aback if that happens. You're like, oh my gosh, that's like me going into a lawyer's office and telling my case, or me posting a video and the video going viral and people are like, well, okay, so how can we help? That's not what is expected. That's going to take me aback. I'm like, okay, you're going to help me? Like, oh my goodness. So I would be taken aback if, officers actually just jump right on this case. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect that. Like, I don't know. It just is, that's kind of different. That's not what you usually hear, especially if the person is not underage. So I don't know. Okay. So I read a comment on Willie D Live, his review of the story, one of the reviews, because he did a live and he did a couple of other videos, I think, about this story. So on the last one he posted, there was a comment that said she needs to do jail time because there are so many innocent people in jail. Now, that was my cue. That was the red flag being put up, the little flagpole, girl. I know I had to chime in. But she needs to do jail time because there are so many innocent people in jail, and she is not special. Basically, she can get it too. That's what I put on there. Basically, she can get it too, girl. But people were saying that that's all you see, that she needs to go to jail. She needs to go to jail. She needs to go to jail. I don't know what, it depends. See, people, I know jail is for punishment of a crime, and that is a crime. Utilizing resources, taking away manpower where they could be used for someone else. Case in point, the crime that is incarcerating an innocent man, when those resources could be used to incarcerate somebody that did something. We could liken that, but anyways. But saying that she should do jail time. Jail is not going to, if she does, I don't know for sure, if she does have mental health issues, she's not going to get help in jail or in prison. That's not what it should be for. That it should be for rehabilitation. It should be for correction. But really, it's like I had a video where I said a cruise ship has a purpose and also a car has a purpose. But if you don't use what it is for the purpose it's meant for, it becomes useless. So if you put a cruise ship on land and you put the car in the water, you're pretty much coming up with the useless mechanism. The whole object is now useless because it's not being used what it should be used for, like in prison system, jail system. It has a purpose, but it's just not being utilized in the way that it was supposed to be purposed for. You understand what I'm trying to say? But yeah, so people are saying that she needs to go to jail. If she has issues, I don't know. Jail is not going to help her. But if you're just interested in her paying, doing the crime and now doing the time, paying her debt to society, you may possibly get that out of jail or prison, but I don't know. I really don't know. What I do know is that the answer is usually incarcerate over rehabilitate and even prevention. So possibly, if she did have those issues, was it a way to prevent this? Was it a way back when to prevent this? And is this what we're getting out of our current system? Things like this happening, basically. Okay. And then missing pieces of the story. So for me, y'all already know. Y'all know my issue. Y'all know what I fight for daily. And I know that there is a story and a narrative put out there. The story and narrative was put out there to the judge, the jury, and the basically the prosecutor, right? That story was put out. But for that story to be true, they had to take a lot of pieces of the puzzle out, a lot of pieces of Marcello's case. They literally had to extract it from the case. Because if you had those missing pieces, you could no longer come to the equation, the verdict of guilty. The equation wouldn't line up. If you put in this piece, it no longer would add up to guilty. It would add up to not guilty if you put in all those missing pieces. So because right now they're saying she's not talking, they're not releasing certain information, there are missing pieces, right? So it's hard to formulate a true and fair judgment on a situation. I mean, we can all make speculations. I know that when someone wants to make me, like, that happens all the time, where you can have something happen and you got doggy, you freaking right. The person is going to come back and they're only going to report to bystanders or other family members what you did. But they will never say what they did. They're extracting that from the complete equation. That way you as well can arrive to the verdict that, hey, that person did something wrong to you. You know what I'm saying? Without a full picture, without all the pieces to the puzzle there, you're never going to get a clear image of what it is, right? And with that said, girl, my head hurts. I need to go get me some Excedrin. Need changing my little checkered skin, girl. Upload this video and then head out with the family. My family is still in town, so I don't know what we're going to do, but I sure got to get rid of this headache because I can't do too much with a headache. All right, guys. It's your girl, Cadillac.